Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of the Buy Round interview show.
It's a good start.
I just seen your face and I just saw that little, in the corner of your lip goes up.
Yeah.
So made me smile. I've saved the best Burgess for last. We've had your three brothers on. Now you come on. Welcome, Luke Burgess.
Thanks, mate. I was actually wondering when you were going to bring me in. How long's this podcast been going? You must be scraping the barrel now. No, it's good to be here.
Well, mate, we're scraping the barrel. I'm not even bothered about you. I just want to know what your thoughts on your brothers are.
Hey, I'm used to it.
Yeah, what's Sam really like?
So what's your brother doing? Which one? I've got three. I can tell you all of them if you want. You didn't used to play though, did you?
Do you get that?
You're the youngest, aren't you? You're the youngest. No, I'm actually the oldest, and I did play. Yeah.
Do you actually get that from people?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I don't know if sometimes I don't know if they're taking the piss or if they just got no idea, and just because everyone knows the Burgess brothers as Sam and his brothers, which is fine. So it's like they second guess themselves sometimes. See that one that didn't play, or no, he's the youngest one. I've not seen much of him.
It's, you know what? It's funny how people perceive you. Like everyone, like we've all got, you're like the whole thing about like, oh, your identity, what it is, who you are. Like you're different things to different people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like you'd be, like I'm Harlow's dad to some people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never thought of it like that. Yeah.
Like some people view you, oh, you're that person I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, you played rugby, didn't you? And then to some people, oh, you're that lad from school. You live in Australia now, don't you? But how you see yourself is, and how other people see you, very different.
I've always thought I'd like to be able to see myself from someone else's perspective. That'd be pretty cool.
What?
Well, I'd like to...
to meet you.
Yeah, I'd like to meet me from the outside.
Someone else.
Do you know what I mean?
I think there's a Black Mirror in there.
I reckon I'd look good.
Do you know? No. Have you seen the show Black Mirror?
No, don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, God. Mate, great show on Netflix. Where
I'll put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
I must say, Jammer, you do have some very, very interesting topics that you talk about. Yeah. I do enjoy listening to you. Some of these random questions that you like to ask and predicaments. It's quite entertaining.
Thank you.
And I really enjoy your new voice that you've taken on.
What?
You've got a new voice. Like it's a production voice or a... It's amazing. I love it.
Don't you fucking dare.
Sam and I talk about it quite a lot.
Don't you fucking dare.
I know what you're going to say in return to that.
You do?
Yeah. You sound like an Aussie wanker. That's what you're going to tell me.
At least I sound... Well, A, at least I sound English, and B, at least I am English.
So am I.
No, you fucking turncoat.
Mate, I've got 2 passports.
Mate.
Are you jealous?
No, I'm not. You're fully... I'm a citizen.
I am. I'm proud to be an Australian. In fact, today...
Mate, you're a disgrace.
Today, the 7th of May, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about dates on the show.
You can talk about what you're going on dates.
Today marks 1 year that I have become an Australian citizen. So, congrats to me.
Why did you do it?
But, all right, so where were your kids born?
Australia.
Okay. So what are your kids Australian, English?
I think they would be classified as Australian. Yeah.
Do they have English passports?
No, there's no such thing as an English passport.
What do you mean?
No such thing as an English passport.
I don't understand.
British passport.
Oh, British passport. My apologies. So you used to have a European passport?
No, I always had a British passport.
But when we were part of the European Union?
It was still British.
Okay, nice. So will they get British passports?
Probably not. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but I'm going to make an educated guess and say no.
Okay. Well, my kids, the reason I asked, my kids have got Australian and English passports. I'm proud I'm a proud Englishman. I love my country. I'll always be English. But I'm also very privileged to now be an Australian citizen and I can stay here forever. But might have to kick you out.
I'm happy to I love Australia. I really do. Genuinely love the country. Like, I honestly, I'd be willing to fight for it against anyone other than England. Do you know what I mean? Like, if shit went down, I go, go on, I'll fight for the values and what this country represents and the life it's given me. But I wouldn't fight for it against England.
No way. Number one, I'll always be English. Number one. Still got an English accent.
But I just don't even see the point in getting a citizenship. So basically, you have to vote.
Yeah. They
can't kick you out. I think basically you have to vote. You don't have to renew your permanent residency every 7 years.
5. Yeah. And you can't ever be kicked out. So, say for example, if you got into a bit of bother.
I've only gone and done it again.
And, you might get arrested in Arizona, for example, something like that. That can affect your living status in this country. So they're quite strict. I mean, not that I planned on getting arrested or anything like that, but it's nice to have that security. And if I left the country for an extended period of time, I would always be able to come back.
Right.
And I don't have to renew every 5 years. And I can actually legally fight for this country because as a citizen, I'm allowed to be in the military. You're not.
I reckon they'd take me. I reckon if I rocked up and Sergeant Major's there, he'd go ahead, let's get him in.
You reckon?
Yeah, I can be very persuasive.
Hey, I need to get one of these T-shirts, by the way. Before we go.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to buy one online.
I like the one with that one.
Mate, we can give you one. We'll give you one. We'll sort you out, lad. Don't worry.
Nice one.
Don't worry. Speaking of this being home, moved to the Shire.
Yes.
I'm
moving down to your neck of the woods. Mum's down there. Tom's down there. I've not spent a lot of time down there myself, but we're currently in Rose Bay at the moment. It's a bit expensive. So moving back to get amongst it with the battlers, with people like yourself.
Bringing down property prices.
Yeah, well,
one British person at a time.
So got some good friends down there as well. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it should be good. Get to see you more.
Yeah. We'll do a few runs.
Well, actually, I think my running career is over.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, I just had MRI scans last week. I pulled up a bit sore after I went and played some touch football at this local footy team that we're doing some sponsorship with at work. And I've not done lateral movement for a long time. So anyway, I couldn't walk for a week after that. Been for scans, shows I'm pretty much bone on bone on the inside.
On your knee?
Yeah. I've had 2 knee recos on this knee, so it's pretty bad. But the specialist said to me, how old are you again? I said, 37. He said, mate, the state of your knee, it's not a 37-year-old knee. It's riddled with arthritis, bone on bone. Looks like your medial's been ruptured as well. He said, you're going to need a replacement, but you're too young to have a replacement.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said, your run days are over. Just, there's nothing really we can do. Just try maybe a cortisone injection, settle it down, see if that helps. But it's just about managing it now. So I think first thing to go is definitely the running. No more running.
Mate, don't listen to them. Mate, they told me not to run with me hip.
I remember, yeah.
I just said, whatever. I'm just going to do it. It's been better for me as well.
Yeah.
I reckon.
There's a good mix in there because I actually really enjoy the running for the headspace. I love it. I think it's good. when you're out there for a long time, you have some good conversations with yourself too. So never say never, but for now, it's on hold.
It's on hold.
It's on
Yeah,
hold.
it is an interesting one that, like, in terms of the transition out of sport, I think the most important a former athlete can do is to continue to exercise. Now, that can be difficult with niggles, with injuries, with motivation, with viewing exercise as a sort of means to an end when it comes to, like, you know what you need to do to get on the field, like to pay that entrance tax almost. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of players view it like that. And then as soon as they don't have to, they just completely shut it out of their lives. But it's been an important part of like my life now because of the benefits that it brings. And when I went through a phase without it, or if I don't have it, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think also we spend the majority of our lives, our adult lives, doing so much training and physically exhausting ourselves. And then as soon as it stops, you don't just taper off, do you? It literally just, you play your last game and it stops. That's it. So you lose a bit of routine at the start. But for me, I made a promise to myself earlier that I would never be one of these retired players that just stops and lets himself go, gets out of shape. I just think you owe it to yourself more than that. But also, when you start to have kids too, you want to be a good example to your kids. I want to be that parent that picks my kids up from school, and my kids are proud for me to be there and pick them up. And I know your kids always look at you and whatever, they're still going to be proud that you're their parents. But I think for me, I'm a better person when I'm fit and healthy.
Mm. Yeah, and showing them that exercise is normal.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, just you allocate time from your day to go for a run, go for a walk, go to the gym, play social sport. It's just the norm. It's just what we do.
I think even more so now in today, kids just want to go straight to an iPad or a computer. They don't want to go play out on the street like what we used to do. Grab a ball, get in the back garden. It's more just get straight on the iPads, technology. You rarely see kids going and calling for each other these days. You're going knocking on the mate's door asking if they want to go and play out.
No, you don't, do you?
It doesn't happen, does it?
It's mad that I was thinking about this. Like, by the time I was my eldest age, like, we'd finish school, come back home, and I'd go over to the park and play jumpers for goalposts.
And you knew
football or soccer to the Australian audience, but and then it was, what time are you going to be back? I'll be back at this time. There's no Fitbit that could call in emergencies needing to know. It was just
when the sun goes down.
There was a bit of trust there I'll be home when we're. Oh, well, no, I don't even. It was just I'll be home when I'm home.
Yeah, when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's also, I think, the media play a part in this in terms of like the fear mongering goes on. Like,
yeah,
crime rates are probably lower than they were when we were growing up.
Where you're from, anyway.
Yeah. It's not like you've just got this like this influx of pedos all of a sudden that are after kids, or like something bad's going to happen. Like, there's always been bad people. I don't know. Were we less like it's funny looking back. Like, were parents just less aware, less fearful, or it's just more what was done? I don't know. It's funny how society changes.
It's definitely the media, and as a parent, I'm guilty of it too, where you try and sometimes you overprotective and no, you can't do that. You can't go over there. You can't do this by yourself. I've got to be there. But when we were kids, imagine your mum and dad telling you that you can't go out and play with your friends. You'd be filthy at them. You'd just be like, nah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Everyone's meeting at the park.
Yeah.
We're going.
Everyone's going to be there. Yeah.
And you didn't need to send text messages, did you?
No. Oh no.
You just knew that's what was going to happen every night. So who knows? The media obviously play a part in every part of our lives. So it's just we've got to try and understand what to take from it and what to ignore.
Interesting. Just on the media, did a quick Google search of you just to refresh a few of the memories.
Brilliant.
Fucking crazy. Some of the games, like, because we've never actually played together, have we?
Never.
No, just know each other from sort of being around the traps and whatnot.
We should have toured together actually in 2012. But what happened?
Yeah, I got suspended.
In fact, maybe that's why I got the call up but having said that, Sam didn't play either that year, so that would have been good.
That would have been it would have been lots of fun. Because we have had a lot of fun nights out together.
Plenty.
And it is weird because I feel like I know you, but we've never actually played together. We've just been in and around, done a bit of running together, and whatnot. But yeah, just did a bit of a refresh on you. Mate, there's some games we've played against each other. The 2009 grand final, they've all sort of merged into one. So I couldn't specifically remember it. It was 18-10. I was like, fucking hell, what happened in that game? And then seeing like you guys had 2 drop goals, field goals, I was like, fuck.
So you telling me this now, like I completely forgotten all this. Obviously, I don't forget the grand final.
Yeah.
And I always remember St. Helens. It was always us, Leeds and St. Helens. Always we both dominated, didn't we, for a lot of years. But yeah, that grand final, I don't remember the score. I don't remember there being 2 drop goals. It's mad.
It is like, and some people would go like, how could you not remember it? But it all sort of meshes into one, and you don't. A lot of things. There'd be fans out there that would have been at the game that would know more about that game than what a lot of the players would.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you know who's got a freakish memory with stuff like that? He's a keen historian, Matty Johns.
Yes.
He's a freak. He remembers everything.
It's funny. Memory is it's fascinating why we remember different things and why we don't. But we'll come to football, rugby in a moment. Because on like Google search, it's like, is Luke Burgess about to join OnlyFans? Is one of the headlines on the Daily Mail.
Are you kidding?
I am. Not kidding. I'm being serious. I think you must have put something up. Shirt off for a change. Absolute rigatoni. I'm like...
That's when I was probably best shape of my life. That's just before I went to Leeds to run the marathon in Leeds. The Burrow marathon, yeah. So it was this time last year. And yeah, Sam actually took that picture. We'd just finished a session together, and he couldn't believe how good I was looking. So I just gave him a little tense and a pause, just to show him a bit more. And then he took a picture. I thought, do you know what? I quite like that picture, and I kept it. I didn't post it. I thought, do you know what? I deserve to post that picture. I worked hard to get in that shape, and everyone needs to see it. So yeah, I posted it, and I think I put something like sharing from my OnlyFans page, something like that.
Yeah, people were requesting it, so.
And I've never answered the question whether I do or don't have an OnlyFans page. So,
would you like to reveal here live uncut on the buy round?
No, I think I'll just leave it as a mystery.
Nothing beats a bit of mystery, bit of intrigue. Bit of intrigue. Speaking of the running, we did the half marathon together. I remember just finishing that and going, imagine doing this again.
Same. Do you remember when we started that as well?
What?
Do you remember what you were doing at the start?
No.
When we just set off.
I was like taking the piss.
Yeah, you go, oh.
Oh, God, can anyone else not be arsed doing this? Yeah. I can remember that.
But like everyone else around us was just like,
some people, there was some people who we were running with didn't appreciate the negativity.
No.
That was channeling my My old friend Nick Fozzard.
Yeah.
I used to start every session with, "Oh, does anyone else feel tired? Oh God, I can't be bothered running this."
Did he used to train hard though, Foz?
Yeah, not like super hard, but he had a dig.
Yeah.
He just had a great way of using negativity and just that play games with the trainers. Yeah,
You need people like that, don't you?
in rugby league circles, I think you do.
You need people like that.
Yeah, you need characters because you need people that know, right, look, this is going to be a fucking hard day today.
Yeah.
And we need to laugh along the way, because if you don't, you will get into that headspace, but you need a bit of...
Do you remember those sessions when you look at the schedule in pre-season and you got Monday, we're going to get absolutely smashed on Monday, and you just get nervous, get butterflies, because you just know it's going to be 2 hours on the field of absolute pain. And then you get there and everyone else is in the same headspace. And then you just need someone in the dressing room just to lighten the mood a bit. It does help.
Yeah,
it does help.
It's underappreciated, undervalued element of our sport is the ability to change the mood, often with relentless negativity.
Yeah.
And that was Nick Fozzard. He was... So when I first got to Saints in the first team, 2004, he just signed and come over, and he was like a bit of the star sign in the front rower. And we go on this pre-season camp to Portugal, like warm weather training. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be like professional, like I've never even seen. This is going to be amazing. Get there, Foz, not sneaking off. Like, did you ever go to Browns in Portugal, the resort?
No, we never did that.
So it was one of those like specialised for sporting teams.
Yeah, I heard about it.
But it just had like a bar, and Foz didn't sneak out. He just sat in the main bar every night and had 10 pints.
No,
like 10 pints every night, because he was like, well, like he'd say, be like, I'm on holiday.
I'm on holiday. I can imagine him saying that.
Mate, when Daniel Anderson was at the club, I think, again, we were at Browns. This would have been maybe 2007. Oh, yeah, it was. There was 2 comments that got Daniel, like, fucking... like, so we'd won it with St. Helens in 2006. 2007 pre-season tour. Like, we got this, like, got flogged. And he's just like, oh, God, boys, lads, like, in front of our strength and conditioner. Relax. We're the champions. Let them come to us. And the fucking staff were like livid. Like, but that sort of, we're all like, yeah. Like, just little throat. And he on the, at the end of it, we're getting the bus to the airport. Like after 7 days in Portugal, and about 4 rows back from Daniel Anderson, he said to one of the lads, I tell you what, right, seriously, I'm not even joking, right? I mean it when I say this. This has been the best holiday I have ever had. I'm not joking. Best holiday I've ever had. One of the best holidays I've ever had. And Daniel was just like, looking back, being like, Faz. And he's like, hey, got him. Yeah. Got him. Brilliant. Like those are the sorts of things I feel you miss when you're not part of it. Just
you do miss that.
The stupid shit. I can only imagine you'd be. Who was the sort of ringleader at Leeds when you were there? Rob
Burrow. He was a little pest in the dressing rooms. But we had pretty much the same squad throughout my whole time there. We had a couple that would go, a couple that would come in. But I remember Rob was always a bit of a pest. He was good though. Me and him used to work together, so it was good. He was like my little brother. Matt Diskin, Lee Smith, Nick Scruton, plenty of pests in there. And then we had old grumpy Keith. He was so easy to get. He was so easy to get. But I would never try to get Keith.
Mm-hmm.
I was a young, I was a young lad, and back then it used to be like young ones.
There was seniority, right? Yeah.
So I just used to just sit there and laugh. But if Keith ever looked at me laughing, I'd just quickly turn away.
Mate, we diversed a little bit because I was talking about the running. We did the half marathon, and it segued nicely there. You ended up doing the full. You flew across the world to do the marathon for Rob Burrow. That was pretty special.
Yeah, it was. And obviously Nick Youngquest, he was a big part of that. He did all the running with us and planned our training programs out. He was really good. But to go over back to England and do the Leeds Marathon, obviously for Rob, who was a really good mate of mine, and to go back and be able to see all the other boys there doing it for motor neuron disease, which is what my father had too. So that was really cool. I'm so glad I managed to do that, with it being the first one as well. It was just a great atmosphere, and what Kev and what Rob have been doing, to raise awareness for MND is just phenomenal. So I was actually there at the finish line when Kev got there. I'm getting goosebumps now. Yeah, I was there.
I can see them, mate.
Just to see them coming into the stadium, and then he stopped before the finish line, and I just thought, I knew what I was going to do, and it was just unbelievable. I was in tears. It was incredible.
I think everyone was, mate. Watch that video. It's like,
and that image was shared around the world. I thought it was just a big exclamation mark at the end of what they've already been doing. Just incredible, amazing.
Something about rugby league.
Yeah.
And there are other sports that are like it, but we go into battle against each other. Like Rob would have terrorised me as a player. I think about speaking of Daniel Anderson, how we come together, Royce Simmons. But we all come together when one of our family are in need, and we kick shit out of each other, knock shit out of each other on the field. But then, in a time of crisis, we have a not unique, but a rare ability to come together and look after each other. It's something I don't particularly see in other sports. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough, but I think it's a magnificent trait of rugby league, and that mateship, that banter stuff that we're talking about. Like, we're physical towards each other. We're relentless in our piss taking of one another. But then when someone needs some help, we help each other out.
I agree, and I don't think there are any other sports like it. I think our backgrounds are very similar, aren't they? Rugby league players, we come from very similar upbringings. We train extremely hard, so you go to those dark, deep places together. But even as opposition, we played against, our teams were like arch rivals for many years, but off the field, we've become great mates. People ask me all the time about you and Sam. Like, so do your brother and Jammer, do they really hate each other? Like, no. The room together when they tour together, they're like really good mates.
Yeah.
So what? But looks like they want to kill each other. Because they do.
That's what they're supposed to be doing.
That's what they do. And then as soon as it's finished, it's finished.
Yeah, apart from once.
So,
Yeah.
Was that when you won't shake Sam's hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me about that.
Yeah. I was fucking fuming.
What did he say to you? He goes, Jammer, you'll regret this. Shake my hand now.
Well, you know what happened, right? I think I've explained it before. It must have been like 2016 it was. And Bulldogs played South's last game of the season. And South's beat us. So obviously I'm fucking pissed off. Like, this isn't great. But then you guys scored at the end. And instead of coming over to shake our hands to say like, oh, good luck, whatever, good season, fucking all in a circle having a chat. I was like, I'm not fucking waiting for you. We're out of here. Let's go. I was like, lads, no, we're not. I'm not waiting. We're going.
What? So that was 2016.
Yeah.
I wasn't there then.
Yeah. I was like, well, you can't have your end of season debrief now. We're not sat here just waiting for you.
Yeah.
I was like, we're off.
Yeah, I would have gone as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then he's like, you'll regret this. I'm like, fuck. You'll never live this down. Oh, fucking hell. But again, like, mates, but emotional creatures, and you've got to,
yeah.
I guess, you in a lot of other places, in a lot of the other industries, people hold on to that shit for decades. I didn't do this. It's like, fucking hell, get over it.
You just get over it.
Yeah. You do.
It gives us, I always say, rugby league, obviously it's not forever, but it does give you a great leapfrog into life. Gives you a good head start financially. Gives you learn a lot. You learn a lot of things that you could never learn at university, working in an office or whatever, you know. So it's certainly, if you take advantage of it whilst you're there, you can really set yourself up in life.
Yeah, it certainly opens a lot of doors. It gives you the foundations for a great life and some amazing experiences. Like, think about us two. Grew up in the north of England. Here, Sydney is home. Like,
yeah,
we've been to America to play the game or train. You know, you've met movie stars. Like, it's phenomenal all through the avenue of rugby league, which and even, you know what, as well, Luke, I reckon when people say, oh, you're busy now, like you're doing this, you're doing that, it's like, I'll never have to work as hard as what I used to.
No.
Like, I've got that in the back of my mind always as my, like, marker to be like, I know what working hard really looks like and being physically, mentally and emotionally exhausted. Like, now,
yeah, it's
never going to be as difficult as that.
No way. It's so true. Like, we learn from a young age, because, you know what, 14, 15, 16, that you've just got to empty the tank on every single occasion, don't you? Pardon the pun. But we do.
You can't get away with saying that.
Empty the tank, son. But we do, and we've pushed our bodies to the max on many, many occasions. So when it comes to life after rugby, it just seems like it's, you know, a bit slower paced. You seem to have a bit more time to analyse stuff. It's good.
It's not as intense, is it?
Yeah.
And it's not as there's not as much riding on it. You're not going to get Michael Maguire or Des Hasler like screaming in your face as to why you dropped the ball.
Yeah.
They genuinely didn't mean to.
Yeah.
You know, if you miss a lead or miss a sale in whatever industry you're in, it's just, okay, well, I'll be better. Yeah. You're not going to get punished for it. You're not going to be made to wrestle people or roll the dice or whatever it may be.
Mate.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, life is for me better for having rugby league in it. What do you make of all the sort of recent news in and around the training methods and whatnot? Like,
it annoys me sometimes, some of the things that I hear. Player welfare is obviously a big thing at the moment, and I think players should be looked after. But then we can't be going over the top with this stuff, because I think playing this game, you know what you're getting yourself in for, and there's a certain decision from each individual that, you know, I'm going into a high contact sport. There's going to be risk of injury. I'm happy to do that. I know I'm going to have to train hard. I'm going to have to push myself to, sometimes I'm going to pass out. I used to hate wrestle sessions. They were awful. Do you know what? When we used to wrestle at South, we were never allowed water breaks either. It's weird. I don't know. I always used to think that was crazy. Like, we're going to be so much tougher because we didn't have a water break. But we'd wrestle for an hour and a half, no water, nothing. But I tell you what, the first drink after that session, we used to have Powerades on ice waiting for us. The best tasting Powerade you've ever drank. It's amazing. But just getting back to your point, you know, players being punished for being late and types of punishment, whether they're inhumane or stuff like that. If you're late, you let the team down. So in my eyes, there's always been a punishment. Everyone does that in rugby league. I just hope we don't go down the path of wrapping players in cotton wool too much, because that's not our game, is it?
No.
The biggest one lately is the kickoff, the kickoff rule. Like, I ain't even read about it. All I've seen is that someone's mentioned that should be taken out, which is just outrageous.
I agree, because you don't have to run hard off the kickoff, which increases your risk of injury.
Yeah. And you don't have to be a front rower if you don't want.
No. You have to stand there.
You just go somewhere else.
Yeah. I think we're at a really critical time for our game. The sporting landscape is changing, and I think there's elements where more and more people come into it, and it becomes more and more scrutinised, and there's potential there for other industries to become involved and look to exploit. I think it's I think look, there's obviously been some terrible circumstances that have happened that should never happen, but we need to be very, very look, let's make improvements, but I don't think we should be looking to throw the baby out with the bathwater on this.
I agree.
Yeah. Just on the person that you are, being from Yorkshire, how much does that make you the person that you've become, those, I guess, values and location of the place?
Being from Yorkshire is the foundation of who I am, of who all my brothers are. My dad was Yorkshireman, mum's from Yorkshire, and obviously we know what it's like there, and we had a great upbringing. It was just honest. It was tough. It was my mum and dad didn't have a lot of money, but we made it work, and my best memories are from my childhood. So I think being from Yorkshire is you know, set that great foundation for me to be able to build on that and become the person that I am today.
I think it's an oversight from people that the city or the town or the area that they're from, just how much it makes them. Like the characteristics of that city, what they stand for, what that area stands for. Like so much goes into that. Yeah.
It comes from your parents too.
Yeah.
I think I got great parents, and having 3 other brothers as well was just something that really shaped all of us. We were stuck together. We were always really close. My dad was the one that drove that, and he always wanted to make sure that we grew up into being good men and looked after each other, which is what we've done. So certainly, I look at my childhood and compare it to what my kids are exposed to now, and it's just worlds apart. And it's up to me now to try and keep instilling my values into my children as they get older.
Just walk around going, white rose, white rose, white rose, white rose.
That's it. They're lucky they've got more sunshine over here. But yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think when like obviously growing up in an area, you when you're here, you really appreciate what it's like, because not that where we're from is bad, but you I owe so much to where I'm from, but then I choose not to live there anymore. And you got to be very careful how you word it, but like I owe so much to where I'm from, and like the people, not just the people, but like the what the city does to create those types of people, because there's no otherwise all cities would be the same. It all would produce the same type of person.
It's crazy too in England how you can drive half an hour and completely different accent. But I think that falls back to everyone just stays within their own little towns and villages, don't they? And then, like we about an hour apart, an hour's drive. But in
England. Yeah.
But we've got completely different accents.
Yeah.
Have you always thought that's a bit mad?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But going back to your point, definitely Yorkshire. I don't want people to misunderstand me. I love where I come from. I love going back to England. The people, the Northerners, they're the best people in the world. It's when you do go back there, it's like you've never left the place. Nothing much changes, does it?
No, tight as cramp, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are tight as cramp.
But that's helped me out as well, though. Not that I'm saying I'm tight. I'm just saying when you don't have a lot of money growing up, and then you get money, you've still got that mindset of I can't spend this much on a night out, or I can't spend this at dinner. I could buy 2 weeks worth of shopping for this.
It is mad.
And we work hard, don't we? We've worked hard to earn the money. So I've never been one. I used to get shit off all my brothers for being tight, but they always earned more money than me. So whatever.
Yeah, you splurge. How was it growing up in a household like that with the four of you? Like you're the oldest. Were you like large and in charge? I say that because there's, they're big boys as well. But were you the sort of dominant force, or how did the games work? Were you teaming up with Sam against the twins, or you split the twins apart? What was the go?
So I feel like you're testing me because
I'm not. This is not a test.
You've asked this question to my other brothers. So I know what you're doing. You've seen if we're all aligned with our answers. You're trying to work out who's fabricating the story.
If you think I can remember that back that far.
Yeah, I'll set the scene a little bit. So growing up, we lived in the same house our whole childhood. But you know how people move around.
Oh, no, I thought like... we lived in the same house.
You
and your brothers lived in the same house. Wow, fascinating. Charlie, clip that up, mate. They actually all lived together. Brothers lived in the same house.
But guess what? We don't live in the same house anymore.
What?
Yeah,
You're joking. You all moved out of home. Oh my God, I don't believe it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That is mad, isn't it? I thought you'd stay living together forever.
But anyway, we're in a 3-bedroom house. So we've got... Obviously, Mum and Dad had their room. Me and Sam used to share a room, bunk beds. And Tom and George had their own bunk beds again.
Top or bottom bunk?
I was top.
By choice?
Yeah, by choice.
Okay.
What would you have gone?
Don't know. Probably top.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you fall off.
No, I had barriers.
Go to the barriers.
The barriers. So we had lots of fun.
Always thinking.
Yeah. I don't know. We didn't break those beds. We used to hang off them and climb up and down them non-stop. Remind me, you asking me about the household.
Yeah, it was.
Like, we'd have dinner together every single night without fail. We'd always sit around the table. Dad used to pretty much do all the cooking. Most of the time, the food that we ate was from... My dad used to go and do the shopping when it was like just about to close. So there's all the stuff on special.
The whoops from Asda. Did you ever get that?
We shop at Morrison's.
Ah, right.
Yeah, Morrison's. And then like we'd often eat food that was out of date too, just because we couldn't waste it. But it, it's not caused any harm now, I don't think. But that formed part of my memories as a kid. Always sitting around the table together, as all 6 of us having dinner, talking about our days, which was really nice. There were some fallouts from time to time between me and the brothers, but very, very rarely. Whenever we'd have disagreements or start fighting or arguing, my dad would be in there straight away, and we'd all get absolutely belted, like smacked.
What? But you and your brothers fighting, as in like
No, we never used to fist fight.
Not fist fight. Just
like if we ever punched each other, it'd be like in the body, never in the face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Body shots?
Yeah, just body shots. But it never used to escalate really, because we just knew that if Dad found us doing that, he would absolutely.
Would he?
Oh yeah. To a point where we used to get slapped on our asses.
Did you ever get the wooden spoon?
I once got ladle on the top of the head.
Did you?
Because it was serving dinner. And I was messing around with someone else's plate, and he just went, "Bop," straight on my head. And honestly, I don't think he realised how much it was going to hurt me. The noise it made, like a solid metal ladle. It was right on the couch, on the soft part.
It hurts as well.
I think my dad was shocked at how much it hurt me. I just started screaming, started crying, ran upstairs, and we were never allowed to leave the table at dinner time. So for me to run away from the table was like. I remember my mum coming upstairs and being like, I thought I was going to get told off for leaving the table. He came up to see if I was all right. So I've got him here. I've got him. He's in trouble now. But yeah, no, we never got the spoon. Always just smack, open hand smack.
Open hand.
And we used to run up, sent to our bedrooms. But on the way past Mum and Dad's room, we'd walk in because they had the mirrors on the wardrobe, and just pull our pants down and have a look. You could see the big welt marks. You could see my dad's fingers, the welt marks.
Yeah. So were you more aligned with Sam?
Yeah. We were. Me and Sam were a partnership, and then Tom and George were like, and they were the teams 2-on-2.
Yeah.
We used to think we were killing it because we could dominate those two, but looking back, they didn't stand a chance.
Back on the family patch.
Back on family patch. Hey, did you see my comment on one of your that question that you asked about if you're in a swimming pool?
Oh yeah.
Did you see my comment that I wrote?
No. What did you say?
I knew you'd never read those comments.
I know. I don't. That's Charlie.
I just said Paul Sykes would do it with his pumps around his neck.
I'm the only man in the history of mankind that swam sharks. You know about sharks? What does he say? Yeah, punch him right in the fucking lug hole.
He goes, and I had to condition him.
That's a brilliant comment. Yeah, Paul Sykes would do it. For any listeners out there who don't know who Paul Sykes is, YouTube him. Genius. Coming through the ranks, Luke, was it strange to have Sam make his debut before you?
Excuse me. I don't think so. No, I remember because for people that don't know, Sam's 2 years younger than me, and he was always, even going through all the juniors. I never made any rep sides in the juniors. I guess rugby league was never really, didn't feel like I was going to do it forever.
Really?
Until I got older, until I got to about 16, when I was in my last year with our amateur team, Dewsbury Moor. And I think I was a bit of a late developer, late bloomer. started to enjoy it a bit more and started to enjoy the physical side of it, the training. I could feel my body changing, and then that's when I made a decision that I wanted to do this properly and take it seriously. So for Sam to make his debut before me was probably expected.
Yeah.
He was always in all the rep sides, national teams, and even when he was in the first team from such a young age at Bradford. So it was a great moment for our family when he finally did get the call up. It was against Leeds too.
Oh,
He debuted against Leeds. So I was at Leeds, and I was training with all these guys, like starry-eyed, looking up to like people like Jamie Peacock, Kevin Sinfield, Jamie Jones, Rob, Matt Diskin, Danny Maguire. We had a crazy team, Keith, and then Sam was making his debut against all these guys who I'm training with all the time, and I think these guys are superstars. So it was cool. It was a good moment.
Did you ever play against him?
Against who?
Sam.
You said against
I said him.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, many times. We used to play against each other.
No, in professional.
Yeah. 3 times a year. No, it was.
Oh yeah, for the Leeds Bradford.
It was. The first few times it was weird because we were living together. Again, living together, but in our own house. We bought our own house together, and super close. We'd watch each other's games, and on game day, if one of us was playing, obviously the other one we'd have our breakfast together and talk about the game or what you're going to focus on tonight. So then, when we were playing against each other, it was a bit weird. We couldn't really do that. So we wake up in the same house together, and then kind of just staggered our days so we could avoid each other.
But that was bizarre.
It's weird because this is the guy that I've grown up to protect him, and he's the same, and Dad made us do that. So then when the coach is talking about him in the video about let's get at this guy and do it, and I'm going, oh, it feels a bit weird. It feels a bit weird. So we got used to it in the end. After the first year was just, we just got on with it.
Yeah. When Sam made the decision to come over here to Australia, how was that as a family to cope with? Because, we obviously like a lot of families, very close knit, but with some circumstances that happen, I can only assume that brought you closer together and more reliant on one another. What was the sort of family reaction? Like, you'd want to celebrate. I'll let you explain, but I'm just thinking, like, you'd want to be celebrate and like proud of the achievement, but also knowing and taking this opportunity, like selfishly, you'd be.
It happened very quickly with Sam because we first came to Australia. Never been here. We came on holiday in the off season 2008. So
the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember when we came?
That was the first time I think we'd actually ever properly had a beer together.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because that was after my first year playing for Leeds, first full season playing for Leeds. So I only knew you as like the guy that we used to play against, and you were like our arch rivals.
Yeah.
We were like always top 2 teams.
Yeah.
And remember how big Sam was? Remember Steve McNamara saw him and he's like, mate, what have you done?
Oh,
looks like you've swallowed a sheep.
Yeah, because you'd both been on.
We'd just been on the piss.
Yes, you'd come out of here on you'd both come on a holiday. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And we had the best time. We were just up and down the East Coast, staying in backpacker places. No one knew who we were. Just enjoying ourselves.
Like proper backpackers, like, because you would have only been, 22?
21.
Yeah.
I was 21. Sam was 19. We had Nick Scruton, Wayne Godwin, and Chris Feather. That was our crew. So we just lived large, and fell in love with the place. And Sam and I had some conversations one day about, we've got to seriously think about coming out here and trying to have a crack at the NRL. Like, imagine what our lives would be like. So that it was, as soon as we got back off that holiday, Sam went straight to our manager and said, I just want an opportunity. I just want to get to Australia. But he just signed a contract, and anyway, he managed to get out of it quicker than he should. He played one more year at Bradford, then he left at the end of that year. So it just the reason I tell that story is because we did speak about it as all of us doing it. At this point, the twins were only young, so we didn't even think they were going to pursue careers in rugby league at that time.
Really?
Yeah, we weren't too sure how serious they were about it. So
they would have been what, like 15, 16?
Yeah, 16. Just getting towards the end of school, and then probably similar to me, late bloomers, and started hitting the gym, and then really just started to get some real shape about them. So when Sam left, the circumstances with my dad, we are a close family, and then stuff like that brings you even closer. We were going to miss him, but we also not naive to think that it's forever. Like, at the end of the day, it's a one day's worth of travel, and you're there. You can, if it's an emergency, you can be there. So I missed having him around day to day, me especially because we were living together. So that missed him from that sense, but it was just temporary.
Yeah. And did you have ambitions to come over at that point?
Yeah. I actually, so I told, my contract was due to expire at the end of 2011. And I just made my intentions clear that I was going to see my contract out, and then I wanted to go and try the NRL. So halfway through the 2011 season, the club, I'd been playing good football or good rugby, and the club wanted to re-sign me, but I'd already made my decision that I wanted to just play the year and go to Australia. And then I thought, well, maybe I could do a couple more years in England. All right, let's see what offer they're going to put forward. So anyway, Gary put an offer forward that was pretty much exactly the same as what I was on, and so I think, do you know what? Thanks for the offer. I'm just going to go at the end of the year as I planned. But then after that, I stopped getting put in the team, and so I was out of favour then. And that's why I ended up actually leaving midway through the 2011 season, because I wasn't playing. And South at the time, they had a lot of forwards injured. George was here too, but George was only young, and they didn't want to put him in at a young age. So there was an opportunity for me to come to South Sydney mid-season. That's what I did.
How did that transpire then? Because you speak of Gary Hetherington, who's known for his, I guess, his methods, where he's not particularly forthcoming with paying, especially some of the British lads.
Yeah.
Which you've gone in, said, look, I want to go, but hey, make me an offer to stay. It's not good enough. But then, look, I get why clubs treat the players that are moving on like that. But being a British kid, you'd think you deserve better. But
I've got a lot of respect for Gary.
Yeah.
And Gary's looked after me a lot as well. During my time at Leeds, I think Leeds are a great club and they're a good business, and that's all to do with Gary and his structure. He does have a structure, and he talks about the pie and who gets certain parts of the pie. And unfortunately, there's not much of an allocation to English players unless you play for your country, which that time I hadn't played for my country. So I was on £50,000. That was my contract, and that was a pretty decent contract for like a 20-year-old. 50 grand back then goes a long way, doesn't it?
Sorry, I can't laughing because I'm thinking about David Brent. He's like, you're not looking at the whole pie, Jenny. He just tries to fucking people versus task, and where does the line go?
Yeah.
So, ooh.
Gary's drawn the pie for me in meetings.
How the hell did you keep a straight face?
Do you know what? I learned so much about negotiation in those, because I used to go in by myself.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because my manager and Gary couldn't be in the same room together.
So they'd had a complete falling out.
Yeah, because my manager he managed all the boys. Chris Casely, he used to be the boss at Bradford Bulls.
Yeah.
During the heyday when Bradford was successful. So I don't know what it stems back to, but Chris has been amazing for all four of us. We still speak to him today. He's helped us so much. But I think my upgrade to stay was 55k the next year, and then 60k the year after that. So I thought, do you know what? Thanks for the offer, but I'm just going to stick to my original plan.
And then you're out of the team.
And I was starting. I was in the starting team to. Oh no, someone else is going to play this week. So
difficult predicament for Brian Mack to be in.
Yeah, and I had a big history with Brian Mack. Brian Mack helped me significantly when he was the academy coach at Leeds before he left and went to the Harlequins, and we spent quite some years together. So it would have been difficult for him, because I remember when he told me I was back in the team. This is crazy looking back, because I was only 21, and he said, he said, are you ready to play now? I'm going to put you back in the team this week. And I wanted to go to South, because I'd been speaking to South, and I knew that all I needed to do was get out my contract, and we could do the deal. So I just said, I don't want to play. I don't want to play. I just want to leave this club. That's what I said to him. And he couldn't believe it. I can't believe I said it. But that's how much I wanted to go, because I knew that for me to get to South, all I had to do was get out of the club. And so then from that point on, then he said, all right, didn't play me. And then the deal was done. The deal got done. Shane Richardson and Gary did the deal, just said, Shane called Gary and said, look, you've got a player there that he didn't want to be there. Why are you holding on to him? He's going to be gone at the end of the year. We could do with another forward. Let him go, and the deal was done. And within a few days, flight was booked, visa was organised. This is how much I knew I was going to go, because I'd already moved out of my house. I'd already got my house rented out, mine and Sam's house. I'd already got tenants in there. I'd moved back into my mum's place. All my stuff was packed away. I was ready to just jump on a flight whenever. So that's how I knew my decision was made.
Yeah. Wow, that's massive. I didn't realise that.
No one would know that story.
Yeah.
No one would know that story. And then my first game was down at Shark Park. Debuted like mid-season. It was great because
missed the pre-season.
Didn't have to. You know, when you join a new team and move to a different country, you've got 3, 4, 5 months of media build-up, and I was off the plane within, I think, 10 days I made my debut. I just slipped under the radar. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. I didn't know it all transpired like that. That's amazing. Yeah. Was it always going to be South Sydney?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was important to you too.
Yeah. And George and Sam were both here as well.
So that, yeah.
And it was something that Russell also liked the idea of having the fact that there was these 4 brothers that all played, and so Russell was very instrumental in making it happen too. And yeah, for us all to be playing for the same team was something that we I guess fantasized about, spoken about. Get your mind out of the gutter, Graham.
Yeah, we'll get to that when that all actually became the reality, because it was huge. I can only imagine the feeling it invoked in all of your family. But coming here, go from an intense environment, Leeds, Brian Mack, Gary Hetherington, very well run football club, with some great players, English players. Come here to Australia, it's not better, it's not worse, it's different. What did you find was the biggest difference?
Just seeing it everywhere. Gone from the north of England, where no one really talks about, none of the TVs talk about rugby league, newspapers don't write about rugby league, no one on the radio talks about it, people on the street, in the pub, wherever you go, shopping centres, it's all soccer, Premier League. You never see. I don't know if it's changed since we left, but
I don't think it has.
It's darts is bigger than, darts gets more coverage. So coming to Australia, and it's just everywhere, and people wanting to do interviews. I thought only the captain does interviews.
Yeah.
They interview all the players, and then you do certain interviews for one thing, and then there's another. Then you do the newspapers, and I remember I was drinking a bottle of water after training one time, and our kit man comes up to me and goes, "No, you can't drink that. You can't drink that brand of water around here, around training. We're sponsored by Mount Franklin. You have to drink Mount Franklin." I was like, "Yeah, but this is a tenth of the price." So I'll be drinking this. He went, no, go get a bottle of water from downstairs. Just stuff like that, like you're not allowed to drink certain waters because we're sponsored by someone else. That was a big adjustment. I remember Sam sort of pre-warning me before I came here. He's like, "Look, it's going to be, it's been big news. Like, it's going to be, just get ready for it when you get here." Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, don't be stupid. And then to come over and see how much George had changed.
Oh yeah,
because George had only been here for 6-7 months, and he left as he was 18, and he's my little brother, and to see how much he'd changed and grown up, and I was like, right, okay, this is another level.
You know what's interesting? You said that about getting the water. Mate, I remember when I started Saints, there was like water bottles, but we wouldn't be given Powerade or Gatorade. Like, we had to bring our own.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. See, we got looked after with that stuff at Leeds. We were quite lucky with that.
Yeah, I think our kit man would make like this big drink of what was called Viper.
In a big tub.
In a big, like
full of mould.
Oh, and he was never asked to come. Mate, some lovely people involved in our sport, but Jesus Christ, it's your job to fucking clean the bottles. We don't need to hear about it all day.
Yeah.
Oh God. Mate, when we used to go on like trips to London or France, whenever we very rarely like stayed the night before the game, like, can I get a massage? Like, you wouldn't normally.
Yeah.
Like,
that was
you wouldn't have one of that. Well, you wouldn't have one the night before at home, would you? Say, sorry, mate. Like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like those type of people, I love them to death. Some brilliant people involved at Saints, but I'm like, you're here to do your job.
Yeah. No, they're on holiday.
Yeah.
Before that.
Right, yeah. Going down to London. We're just going to nip out for a beer. Well, can I get some physio?
Do you know who's the best? Never used to complain. I went on loan in 2007 before I actually made my Super League debut with Harlequins, the Broncos, under Brian McDermott. He got me down there.
Former London Broncos player. I think you might be the first one.
Who?
You. On the podcast. Did you ever play that drinking game, ex-London Broncos players, and you keep going round till you run out of names, and then you have to ask Luke Gale about it?
Oh, yeah.
There's so many genius rugby league people that have played for London Broncos. It's not even funny.
It's just they want to get down and explore the capital, don't they? What was it? I don't know where I was going with that story.
Sorry.
I can't remember now.
2007 on loan at London. The people involved.
Oh, yes. So do you remember the guy who used to bring the corn out?
Yes, I do. I do remember him. And he had like weird technique.
He used to bring the corn out.
Yes.
And he used to like.
I do remember him.
He is an absolute legend. Stevie. Everyone loves him. And he does his job to like, he bringing the corn out. He don't just bring the corn out. He brings it and he offers it like
presents.
That. He waits.
Presents.
He waits there until the player takes it.
Is he still involved?
I don't know, but he never complained about anything, and he'd always be. Everything would be laid out. We got such good treatment at that club. It's because of Steve. He used to do everything. He's a legend.
Like he cared about his.
He cared. He took his job seriously, and he never. He never once. I don't think anyone would have a story about him complaining.
Yeah, I like that. On coming to Souths, the media hype. You dodged the pre-season, but Maguire and his methods. How did you adapt to that?
Madge was really good when he first came to Souths at the end of 2000. So he came for 2012. I just left the club like Leeds where we were.
Oh, sorry, was Madge not?
No,
he was at Wigan. So you came in 11. Who was the coach when you landed?
Johnny Lang.
Oh, yes, of course.
And we had Gordy Tallis was forwards coach. So Johnny Lang was the coach, and it was great because it was just so chilled. Some of our video sessions. It'd start doing the video, then start telling the story. His story would go on for 20, 25 minutes, and he'd go, we don't need to do this, do we, boys? So we just go out and do it. We'll just go out and do captain's run. Let's go. You know what you're doing. And that was it. But the culture did need a bit of a shake-up. And Madge came and did a great job, got a good team, certainly lifted the standards, but we had a good squad. The squad all bought into it too. We knew we needed to turn it around. We'd not made the 8 for quite some time, so we training was a lot more intense, and that sort of set us up for 13, and then obviously grand final in 2014. But I just think it got to a point where, when you've had a squad and a good group of players for so long, and you get it, everyone just gets it. You know how to drive culture. We drove it from within, really. So Madge was lucky in a sense that we helped him with that, and so the people on the fringes, the ones who were just kind of sometimes maybe dipping the toes in, the players would bring them in, and it's a lot more powerful when it comes from the players. I agree. It just after 14, it just got a bit silly, really. Like, we had pictures of the grand final around the place, but he insisted that we took them all down because we were getting too complacent, and we thought that the job was done, and we didn't have the same amount of hunger that we used to have. And Melbourne are doing this, so we need to do this and more. Training on Sundays, like no one else is training on a Sunday, but we are. Yeah, this is where you win premierships, training on Sundays.
Do you think you would have taken to that had you not won one?
Had I not what? Sorry.
Had South not won one, do you think they would have taken to that? So, like you said, that hunger was he perhaps right?
No, definitely not. Definitely not, because we tasted it.
Yeah,
and we
knew what it.
We
yeah.
knew. We knew, and we respected each other. We, as players, we didn't go in there and waste each other's time.
Yeah.
We had a good mix of senior boys, and then we had some jokers as well, which was great. The staff were good. The club was in a good position. We had good facilities, but it's just training just got silly. I know we said at the start about player welfare, and I'm too concerned. I don't want it to go too crazy where we protect players, but we were just we've got all the data from training. Some of the data that we were producing was just way beyond what we'd done in 2014. The loads all increased, the intensity all increased. It just then you start losing players when it gets like that. I think anyway.
And I know what you're saying. Where you need
there's got to be a give and take.
Yeah, there's a dial.
Give and take.
Yeah. Well, and you gotta know your players.
Yeah.
The best coaches that can adapt, know their players, even have that correct turnover of players, recognise when they might need to make a change or dial it down, dial it up. It's difficult, but the best ones seem to be able to do it, but very few. Just quickly on when the better times at South, the build up to the day the four of you all played together, like I can see you smiling right now. Obviously, it's rehashing some amazing memories.
Yeah, like just getting goosebumps thinking about it. To think that we did that, it's pretty crazy. And I've had some conversations with parents through my career when we've been and done kids clinics, and dads would quite often come up to me and say, if only one of my kids could play one game of NRL, I'd be over the moon. I'd be so proud. And then, but there's four brothers, and you all play, and it's not until you start speaking to people that you realise it is quite an incredible thing that we did, and to do it for a few years as well. It wasn't just like a quick sort of flash in the pan. We did it. We did it, and we stayed there for a few years. So that day was just, it was, that day I remember. We talked about memory. I really remember that day. And the game, it couldn't have been written any better. The way that it all just turned out. We played against the Tigers. Sam got sin-binned early in the game, and we were getting, I think we went down by about 3 tries. We were losing by a lot, and we shouldn't have been losing to the Tigers by that much. And then as soon as Sam came back on the field, he scored a try and sort of lifted us a bit. And then I scored a try that game. And then the last play of the game was all 4 of us made a tackle together, and the person that we tackled made an error, and that was the end of the game. It was just there's a pretty cool picture of that as well. So it just all worked perfectly.
Yeah. Speaking of happy memories, the 14 grand final, you didn't play that game, but what are your memories from that day?
It's a bit of a funny one, that, because obviously for me to not be in the team that day was obviously heartbreaking, and it was a bit of a funny one, really. I played all year that year, and I believed I should have been in the team. I don't know why. It was just the obvious choice to have me in there. But for whatever reason, he put me as 18th man.
Did he give you a reason?
What did he say? I can't remember. But
was it just you can't remember as in you zoned out, or you just like when he's delivering the message?
I mean, there's I think I honestly believe that at the time Madge struggled with the four of us brothers in the team. I think maybe he felt it was like going to be too much of a distraction. There was something that happened the year before at the end of 2013 where we lost to Manly we lost to Manly in a final elimination, and we shouldn't have lost that game. We were leading by quite a lot.
It's funny Sam brought that up. He was fuming still. But anyway.
Yeah, so that week, the week leading into that game, me and all the boys, we went and did a promo together for Xbox. And the only reason we did it is because they'd been trying to get all four of us together for ages, but going through the club. And the club didn't even tell us about it. They just kept knocking it back. No. And so we ended up finding out what the job was. The job was like, go to this place for an hour, don't have to talk anything about football, pretend to play on a PlayStation game or Xbox, whatever it was. I don't even play on those kind of games. And we got like $5,000 each for doing it.
Fuck hell.
It was like a no-brainer. And it was on our day off as well. So it didn't affect our training, didn't affect anything. But after we lost that game, and then that came out in the media, that's what we'd been doing, it was like the fingers started getting pointed then. Like there was a few distractions that week, weren't there? You boys going off doing that. And that really, because, you know, we would always give our 100% at training, in games. So that was pretty shit that we kind of were seen as a distraction to the team, because we weren't a distraction to the team at all. The boys, we had such a good relationship with everyone in that team. And I guess you got four brothers in a team. Of course there's going to be extra stuff. Like course you're going to have different opportunities. Yeah.
It's only natural. It's a different. Well, you look at how sports are marketed now. A lot of it isn't about the sport; it's the human interest. You look at documentaries like The Quarterback, a human interest story. Drive to Survive, more of a human interest story.
Well, Eddie Hearn was asked about Super League and if he thinks it can be like a bigger game, and for that reason he said no, because it's not. The players aren't marketable. So no, like there's no stars, is what he said. There's no big stars. Because the game unfortunately don't allow players to become those big stars. So tying back to this story, for us to get the green light to go and do this promo, we have to tell the club, then the club has to get authorised by the NRL. When you sign your NRL contract, as you know, you sign your image over to the NRL. You don't own your image anymore. So you're not allowed to make money off your image unless it's verified by the NRL. Did you know that?
No.
You know, like NBA players and NFL players, they can go out and get their own contracts.
I thought they could do it as long as they don't wear official club merchandise.
Yeah. But you're talking about like in America?
No, here.
I don't know if it's changed now, but we any job that came to us, we always had to go to the club and say, well, we've got this job, can we do it?
Yeah.
No, you can't. Yes, you can. And there was always terms, you can't talk about this, blah, 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 blah. So after that, Sam made a decision, that's bullshit. I don't agree with that. I'm going to do one more year, win a grand final, and then I'm going. That's why Sam left at the end of that year. He had another year left on his contract.
Yeah.
And, maybe that was a part to do with it, that I'll leave Luke out the team. It's not going to be a distraction, or because
I think you made a fair assessment.
To our family, that was like we should be talking about that day a lot. But the boys, my brothers, obviously they don't talk about it a lot because they know that it's it was like a shit sandwich for me. It was
you were the fall guy.
Yeah, I was the collateral damage. Like I'd played all year. I think I played 20 games or something that year.
Yeah.
So that it was a funny one. It was a funny one. Trying to be, because I warmed up as well. I was like 18th man, and obviously the team came first. So
yeah,
I was upbeat, and I wanted to be a good energy around my brothers, especially because I knew that they were feeling what I was feeling, but I didn't want them.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to feel like that. And we did have a big influence on the team because there's 4 of us. So
but a positive influence, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, yeah.
And
not
so I didn't want, obviously, didn't want their energy to be down. Still wanted to win. So yeah, it's a bit of a taboo subject, a bit of a shame.
Yeah, because I must admit, on like looking at the squad, I've got you in the 17.
Yeah.
You mentioned it before a little bit, actually. Leaving Souths, the catalyst for that was in Arizona.
Yeah, so after that, after the grand final, we came back for pre-season training, and then we were over in Arizona, and I spoke about how things got more intense. And Arizona was tough. We were there for 17 days. We were there.
A high altitude.
Yeah. And so, but the first week, we trained our nuts off. We did like crazy amounts. We covered so many kilometers. It was awesome. We did some good stuff, but we were absolutely gassed. Like every night, just straight to bed. There was nothing going on. No socializing, no socializing. And then at the end of the first week, it's like, all right, we better let a bit of steam off here. We just group of 30, 35 lads. Everyone's away from the families, the kids, whatever. We need to let some steam off. So, boys, don't worry. We've organised. We're going out for dinner tonight and drinks. So we thought, brilliant. Curfew's at 10 o'clock. So, all right. So we went out for dinner. Dinner. I think dinner reservation was at 7:30. So by the time dinner finished, all right, away we go. 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Come on, boys. And then so the end of the week 2, again another massive week of training. We went on some massive hikes down the Grand Canyon and back out. It was good. Some monster field sessions. And then we thought, right, this is the end of the camp. We're going home soon. Surely we're going to have something decent planned now. We've trained our nuts off. We need to just... Anyway, boys, it's all organised again. Dinner, drinks. We're going to take you to this place, wherever it was. Curfew's midnight tonight. So
yeah.
We're just like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Like, you've asked us to rip in for 2 weeks, or 2 and a bit weeks. We've given you everything we've got. We've just gone through the data with the squad, and we've talked about how we've doubled our kilometres and all this and whatever. And we're training at altitude, so it's even better. And then it's midnight curfew. So it's like, where's the give there? Where it's all just take.
Where's the trust?
Where's the trust? So me and John Sutton decided that it was, I guess, sliding doors moment. We were senior players at the time as well, so we had responsibility over there, and when the taxis were being ordered to take us all back at midnight, me and Sut looked at each other and said, "Should we go out?" So I was like, "Yeah, of course, we're not."
So
going.
is this Is this with the staff? You've got taxis back and then looped back, or you've just gone?
When
away?
When the football manager said, "All right, Biffa, so you're getting in this taxi?" Like, no, we'll walk back. It's not far. We'll just walk back. Because we were like senior players, like, all right, see you back there. I was like, yeah, we're gonna set off now. As soon as everyone left, we just got a taxi and went straight into the local town. And then one thing led to another. I got into a bit of a disagreement with some security guards in a bar. Ended up finding myself outside this bar in handcuffs, just sat on the curb next to Sut, and got charged with drunken disorderly and assault. I got charged with assault, which was just me though. It was just me that got the assault charge. So that was quite a scary time actually.
Yeah.
We got put in prison for the night in a jail cell.
Fucking hell.
Strip searched, mug shots taken, all our stuff taken off us. We had to wear those jail suits, those.
Did you?
Yeah, it was crazy. We got thrown in this jail cell with all these like crazy looking Mexicans with all like tats everywhere. It was crazy. So after that, I just don't think it was handled too well by obviously, it was a big mistake for me and so we shouldn't have done it. Looking back, we won't do it again. We've got to take ownership there, but it could have been handled a lot better from the club. They dropped John Sutton as captain, just won the Premiership after 40 odd years, and so then the media like, well, why did you drop him? They're going to start asking questions and start digging. So I think that's how the story got let out of the bag. And I remember Madge saying to me, you'll never be my team. You're bottom of the list now for front rowers. So we'd not even played a game of football. So I was like, all right. So I just got on the phone to my manager and said, mate, get me out of here. I'm done. Sam had gone. I'd just been told I was bottom of the pile. So I'd been left out of the grand final squad, the team. So I was like, get me out of here. Yeah. And then the deal was done pretty quickly. I got signed for Manly, and it was a good decision.
I was going to say, you looked like you were happy at Manly. You played some good football.
Yeah, I was. It was great, especially 2015, the first year when Jeff Tuvey was the coach. We had such a good squad, and it was Glenn Stewart had signed for South, and him and I got on really well in that off season, that pre-season.
Oh right, yeah.
And he was in Arizona as well, but he went home. He's obviously a bit more experienced, and because I'd gotten really well with Gifty, Glenn Stewart, he gave me a warm intro into the crew at Manly. So it was like Brett Stewart, Jamie Lyon, Stevie Matai, Daly Cherry Evans, Kieran Foran, that crew that kind of sort of ran that squad. And it just helped me sort of make my way into that squad, because they all openly tell me now. I'm good mates with Justin Horrott. He said, fuck, we used to hate you Burgess brothers. We used to fucking hate you boys. I was like, but now it's like, fucking love you.
Yeah. I guess there's a lot of that where it's like, fucking, you only dislike them because they're your competitor.
Yeah.
There's no rationale. It's just they play for the opposition. Yeah. So, and they're good. It's usually a bit of a fucking it's usually a compliment. If someone doesn't like you, usually because they're a danger to what our objectives are. They're trying to stop me from winning.
Yeah.
And winning a game.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
like that, right. It's a compliment. It really is. It really is.
It was good. It was good. It was sort of restarted again, and fresh people, fresh facilities, fresh different methods. It was good.
Yeah, just that change that you need.
Yeah.
Mate, we spoke a little bit earlier about what you're doing now. You're not actually doing OnlyFans, I'm guessing. Wealth Street, can you talk to us about a little bit about that? And is there anything else going on?
Yeah, so I'm working with Wealth Street now. So is George. We're working there together, so sticking together. Sam's also involved. The three of us have become...
You brushed Tom?
Yeah, Tom's just...
Not bothered?
No, Tom actually, he's met the team as well. So, Tom's still got another 3.5 years to go.
He's still playing it. Yeah.
He don't know what he wants to do yet. But the company Wealth Street, I first met the guys through, when I say the guys, the two guys that started the company, through a broker friend of ours, a mortgage broker, and he said, you got to meet these guys. The idea was that we wanted to help NRL players. We were quite passionate about making sure players get to retirement, and there's a plan in place. Either
retirement as in retirement from the game, from the sport. Yeah, not retirement as
And just because we earn the players can earn such good money, and also paying a lot of tax, paying so much in tax, and there's not really much you can claim back. So we'd always bought properties. We got some great advice through a good friend of ours, John Maguire, who's a real estate agent. Maguire Real Estate. He tipped us into all our purchases, and we did well through property. And so we understood how powerful it was to create wealth.
650.
And we wanted to sort of pass that on. And the company Wealth Street, basically, we facilitate property transactions for investors who we've got access to lots of stock, off market stock, through our developer partners, and for people who I'm going to base it on rugby players, for example. Most of them probably have got their own house already that they live in. They're paying a lot of tax, and so I want to show them how to use this equity. This is what we do at Wealth Street. We show people how to pay their mortgages down quicker by through investment. So building up an investment portfolio, using the tax returns from their investments to either pay the mortgage down, pay their investments down. So we're using our tax savings to invest, create a portfolio over a longer period of time, so that when it gets to retirement, you don't have to make rush decisions, because you buy yourself time. Myself, it's taken me a while to find my next career after playing. So my last year was 2018. I only just started this job last year, 2023. So 5 years I've just been kind of dossing about, jumping, doing little...
That's a great word, by the way, dosser.
Dossing about, yeah.
Yeah. So fundamentally it's to help athletes
that's the thing.
Adjust financially post. Yeah.
Or make sure that there's a plan in place. And it's not just directed at... That's my passion. I want to help NRL players, because I've been in their shoes. I know that they've got the capacity to do it. There's just no education.
Yeah.
But we deal with everyday Australians all the time.
That looking to maximise their income, because am I right in thinking pretty much every dollar that you earn, like 25% of it goes to government, which again is helpful and helps maintain this great country that we live in. But I think getting some of it back would be pretty handy. Yeah,
and why not? It's all perfectly legal. This country, the tax system is great, and it also allows you to take advantage of it through investments. There's tax that you can claim back, because we as an investor, you're providing a house for someone.
Yeah, you're actually aiding. It's not a a tax evasion.
Yeah.
It's or tax avoidance. It
creates more opportunities. And so someone's got to build a house. So then there's jobs. So it creates a house for someone to live in. So, someone else is we're going to pay tax on that. It all
keeps the economy rolling on.
And it's a good system. So we just, at Well Street, we educate people on how to manage the money, invest very conservatively. So make it a very enjoyable and easy experience for them. And I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's we've got a good team. It's great that George is there as well. George is doing really good. He's got a different role to me. I deal more with the clients, whereas he's business development. He's actually made his own job title. Do you know what his job title is?
No.
National Head of Partnerships. He was a business development manager, but he decided that National Head of Partnerships had a better ring to it.
Yeah.
And so
I am George, National Head of Partnerships. Is that yeah. Well, I suppose if you get license to create, it's not that bad.
He's good too. He can get where water can't, that bloke.
Well, partly thanks yourself through to what rugby league has given, your background, the values, the skill set, the mistakes that we've learned. We've all had them. But rugby league helps get your foot in the door based off all those fucking hard training sessions and the way you played and whatnot. So I think some people have had comments around jobs for the boys, ex-players, but no, you've worked hard for this. Some people go to university. You only got your job because you went to uni. Oh, did you? Yeah, well, of course. You only got your job because you play professional sport. Well, yeah, I know.
They don't see. They just see us for 80 minutes, don't they? It's the shit that goes on in the background, the negotiations that you have to do, the dealing with injuries and not making a team, not being dropped, having to change teams, all that stuff. It teaches you to be a very resilient person, and having those hard conversations certainly helps too. It helps you be able to be more honest with the people. I've found sometimes in the corporate world, everyone wants to send fucking emails and hide behind that shit, whereas when there's a problem in the team, you just address it head on, don't you? Yeah,
there's a lot of similarities and there's a lot of lessons that both could work. It's multi-directional, but I think there's a lot more lessons that the world of business could learn from sports in order to grow themselves and reach their performance potential when it comes to operating as a business based off the attributes and the ways of being that athletes and sports club run on a day-to-day basis.
There's so much to be learned and just dealing with criticism as well. You were shit.
Well, it's feedback intense in our old industry. With every tackle, every run, every pass, every kick chase, any metric you can come up with, the 1%ers that people don't see. Yeah. But every tackle, for instance, I can go and watch that on video. I'm going to get a rating out. My coach is going to go through it.
He's going to watch it.
It could always be better.
Yeah.
It's never perfect. No. It's always improvement. We striving for this perfection that doesn't ever exist in the game of rugby league. There's no ever perfect performance from an individual or a team playing any game of sport. It just doesn't exist. Even a 9-darter. I should have gone treble 19 instead of 17. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. But it is pretty perfect, a 9-darter. Anyway, rugby league, never perfect performance. Feedback intense. Every pass you do at training, good pass, bad pass, or just a bit further off the back.
Yeah.
You're getting constant feedback from your teammates. You get feedback from the fans, which maybe you want or you don't. You get feedback from social media, the media. It's everywhere. You come into some industries and you finish and it's like, good job.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. Like, you're not going to break down. You're going to break it down, everything I've done today, and give me, a rating where I'm like, no, just see you later. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
You know what I found weird when I first got my first like proper job. I was working with the corporate team at South, and being able to just take time off whenever you want. It's like, what do you mean? You just have to put it in. What? So like, if I want to go away for 2 weeks in June, I can do that. It's like, if you've got enough leave, you just have to book it in and get it approved. Because you just...
It's mad.
It's mad, isn't it?
Because we're so not used to that.
You get, six weeks off, and it has to be at that time of the year.
Mm.
You can't plan anything because you don't know...
If you're playing international,
yeah. You don't... So it's... Most of the time, you just end up doing nothing.
You know what's mad as well? When people are off, they are gone.
Yeah.
Like, they vanish.
Yeah. I'll deal with that when I get back.
Well, out of office reply.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you're out of the office? No, we need to get this shit sorted. Like, when you're on your holidays, when you're a player, like,
you can't relax. You still got to train.
Well, you've got to be contactable.
Yeah.
There's plenty of industries out there. It's like, no, see you later. I'm going. Come back. I'm back. Like, all right, okay.
Just slot straight back in.
Just slot straight back in. Deal with. We got. I missed that. I've been away.
Yeah. I'll be up to speed in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Fucking hell. All right, and
yeah. That's one thing that is an advantage.
It's funny, like,
you can't plan to go to weddings, like, because everyone in England, they get married in summer, July, August.
Yeah. Not non-rugby league people. Yeah.
You could never commit to anyone's weddings, and you could never commit to family stuff.
Yeah.
Can't.
Someone's getting married in a year in August or July. It's like, I'll have to wait till the draw comes out.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
And even if it is on a bye and you've committed to go, but you've played shit the week before, last minute the coach goes, "Nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
You're in next weekend." Then you have to just give it all away.
I think it was, I remember, I think it might have been Isaac Luke, actually. Or maybe not. But I know Maguire was the coach, and it was a South Sydney player. And he'd gone to Maguire and said, "Oh, my sister's getting married such and such a date. Can I have it off?" Now, it was sort of in the middle of the off-season / pre-season. So this player would have been allowed to go if they make the finals, because your time off gets delayed. The further you go in the competition, the more that 6 weeks gets pushed back.
Yeah.
So for example, if there was a wedding in November the 1st and you don't make the finals, your six weeks off goes September, halfway through October, you're back in. Unlucky. So I remember hearing, and like the words were not like, "Oh, we'll work around it." It's like, well, you better hope we play finals.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Hey sis, I might be there. I'll know. Like, and people get about weddings, they flap around, they want to know the seating plan like 8 years in advance. It's like, I'll let you know, I'll be able to confirm a month before. Yeah. Like, oh, cheers. Like,
yeah, it's
but it is a great life.
Yeah.
Like,
we sound like we're just taking the piss.
Yeah.
But it's you look back at those times and we laugh about it now, because you would never change it. No. And when you go I loved having that structure, knowing that. Yeah. And plus, like, the excitement towards the end of the year, it's getting close to finals, and then finals is on, and then it's time off. So let's just give it one last nudge now, and then really enjoy our time off.
Or
You
even,
live your life by the season, don't you?
you do. Or even at work, it's not like, oh, what should I wear? Oh, just like, business casual.
Yeah.
No. What? What colour polo do I need to put on?
I need to be told what I'm doing.
Yeah. But that said, it's Wealth Street, right?
Yeah, Wells Street.
Yeah. There's no massage schedule. No. I always laugh about this. Like, the fucking bubble that athletes live in, like moaning about being last massage.
Yeah,
I say, oh,
I've heard you talk about this before.
I'm on last massage. Fucking hell. Like,
yeah, but come on. Would you have ever been on last massage?
yeah, mate. We no, at the Bulldogs, it was just Ronnie Rotate. Like, there was no like senior. No. There was teams I played for. Mate, at St. Helens, it was like, no, the oldest players go first.
We used to structure it where the 17 would get priority unless you had like a young kid in the 17 as opposed to an older guy who's got a wife and kids.
Oh, yeah. But in pre-season, it was just...
Oh, in pre-season, yeah, I suppose pre-season.
Pre-season, it would just cycle. If you were last, you were last.
Yeah.
But, oh, God, wouldn't everyone know about it?
I actually used to like going second last because there was always, you get an extra.
If someone didn't turn
Because if
up.
there was odd numbers...
Yes.
Instead of a 45-minute massage, you could get an hour and a half.
I like you thinking, mate.
Yeah.
I like you thinking. Well, mate, we've got 4 questions for each and every guest. The dream spine.
Yeah.
You want to give us it?
Yeah.
Mate, you look shocked.
No, you were, I thought you were going to lead into it. But
oh, sorry, you're 1679.
So I've thought about this.
That's appreciated.
Being a brother who's played in the same team as my brothers, I quite like that. And I know these guys now, met them after playing. So 6 and 7, I'd have the Johns brothers in there.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I think I would have loved to have played a game with those boys. Obviously, legends of the game. Great guys too, good guys. Then at fullback, it'd have to be Darren Lockyer.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, his name speaks for himself. And then number 9, I've gone for Craig Wing, a hooker. Why are you looking like that for?
Why? Craig Wing?
Because I've become good mates with Wingy after football. We play a lot of golf together. And he was a fantastic player too.
Mm-hmm.
And listen to this. I won't mind getting a few short balls off Wingy as well.
Okay.
Just catching a few of his scraps back in the day.
I like what you're saying.
But that's not a bad spine, is it?
Mate, it's great spine.
You got the Johns brothers.
When you said about brothers, I was trying to think which 1 and 9 have ever been brothers. I thought you were going to go with 2 sets of brothers.
Yeah.
That was where my head was.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Because you went themed for 6 and 7. I thought the theme was going to continue.
Yeah, that's where I start. Yeah. Sorry for the confusion.
It's all right.
But it'd be a fun squad.
It would be a fun squad. Oh.
The old school,
Old school.
Old school. You notice how they're all old school players?
Yes, I did notice.
We were lucky.
No
both,
Englishmen in there.
We got our start of our careers was the old school, and then towards the end it was part of the...
Yeah, a little bit more professional. Or boring. No, I would never say that. That was a joke. If football didn't exist, what do you think you would have done? So, you go back, you're like, I don't really know if I'm going to do it. If that had continued on, what do you think you would have gone into?
I've got no idea. I was actually really good at school. I was certainly the best performer out of all my brothers. My mum will confirm that. Next time you see my mum down in Cronulla. It's tough. I was...
Imagine that. Hey, Julie, come here. Who's the best? What the fuck are you on about?
Oh, she won't hesitate. Say Luke straight away.
Oh, I think she'd be a bit taken aback by the intensity of the question. It's just coming straight out.
She knows. She knows.
Not like how you doing, how's things.
I've got.
What was your school subject that you were best at?
Maths.
Was it?
Yeah, maths. Love I just get numbers.
All right. Okay.
So
One of my biggest regrets, I forgot to ask George Rose this because he's a bit of a maths whiz.
is he?
Do you know about the birthday problem?
This is going to be a joke.
No, it's not.
I don't.
Okay.
You forgot.
Oh God, let me just. Sorry,
No, it's all right. I'm intrigued. You're going to test me, aren't you?
I am. So give me 1 sec. Sorry, listeners.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm not too sure what path I would have taken. I was just before I made that transition to going full-time training. I'd got into a bit of a habit of I was working at the golf club part-time and going out on a Friday, Saturday night to the pub, sinking 6 to 10 beers every weekend. So who knows where that would have led.
Okay,
Anyway,
sorry.
back to you.
I was.
I was filling the
You were filling the time, right? Okay.
That's what a good co-host does.
If there's 23 people, random strangers, in the same room, what is the probability, percentage-wise, of 2 of those people sharing a birthday?
1 in a billion.
No, it's obviously not. 1 in a billion.
Yeah, it is.
It's not. 23 people, random strangers, sharing it. And sorry, not a birthday, like not born on the same date, but sharing like.
Yeah.
So for example, 23rd of May.
Okay, that's my birthday.
Is it?
No.
Fucking hell, that would have been weird. Go on. Any one of those 23, any 2 of those 23 sharing a birthday with one another.
It's.
Like, just have what would your intuition say?
It'd have to be 500,000 to 1.
Well, no, of course it wouldn't be that.
What are you thinking? Less or more?
Less.
No, I wouldn't have said. I would have said more.
500 for that for 23. There's only 365 days in a year.
Yeah, but you have to times 365 by 365 by 323 times
No.
to get the probability.
No, you don't.
All right. What's
You have to do pairs. So, like, say me and you,
Yeah.
are we a match? No. Then are me and Charlie a match? No. Are you and Charlie a match? No. So what? Imagine that is happening. I'll set that. But there's 23 of us in here. That we all go round. What's the probability that the 23 strange? We've got 23 strangers in this room, and I go, I'm September, whatever. You go, like, what's the probability that someone in that room shares a birthday?
45,000 to 1.
Mate, are you mental?
Your calculations are wrong.
It's not. It's 50%.
It's not.
It is 50%. Look it up. I'm not going to explain the mathematics now, but it's 50%. And it goes crazy. When there's about 50 people in the room, it's in the 90 percentile. That 90% probability.
Nah.
Honestly, it's to do with...
This could be a whole new podcast, this.
Honestly, I would not lie to you. Look up, and anyone that's at home that can be bothered to look into this, the birthday problem.
Right.
So it's something like the number, it almost gets to around about 90% at about 40 people.
Wow. How many people do you think you've met in your life?
Like, just define met.
Since...
Like, said hello to, or that I've come into, like...
Yeah, people who you've had a conversation
Like, shared
with.
a sentence with.
Yeah. Like, from 18 years old to now.
Oh, 18. Oh, I thought you were talking from birth. Oh, like a guess would be 5,000.
And how many of those people do you reckon shared your birthday?
I see what you're doing there. It doesn't matter because
probably 2,500 of them.
No, because you're looking at it differently. You're looking at it from an individual basis. I asked any of those 23 share a birthday. Honestly, promise you, look it up. It'll be fascinating. You'll be fascinated.
I'm doing the argument on the other side.
There is no argument. It's pure mathematics. It's not an arguable case. It's you are flogging a dead horse.
Do you know what we should do? We should go get 23 people now, bring them in here, and test it.
Well, we'd have a 50% chance of one of those people sharing a birthday. It's pure mathematics. It cannot be argued against.
So if we were betting,
it's a false intuition that you go, a lot of people go 23. How many 23s in 365 are roughly speaking 4, 8, 12, 14, 15, 1 in 15.
Yeah.
Most people say it's actually 50%.
Right. Interesting. I'm going to look that up. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, so do I. Hence why I brought it up on a podcast. Otherwise,
I'm glad you saved it for me.
Yeah. Gutted I didn't ask George Rose, but I'm glad I got to ask you. A sliding doors moment you think about?
Look, I've had lots of crossroad moments in my life, and I never like to say that I wish I'd have gone that way, because it's hard to say. We touched on it before. Probably a big one is the me getting arrested in Arizona. If that didn't happen, what might have happened there? Would I have stayed at South longer? Do you know what I mean? That could be a slide door. But I don't look back at it and go, I wish I'd never got arrested that day. It's a tough one, really.
Yeah.
Have you got one? Because it's an interesting question. So
I have.
These are your questions, aren't they? Do you want?
I have. I can answer it for you.
Yeah.
If I had been successful in applying for the Dragons assistant coach's role.
Yeah, right. That would have been. This wouldn't have existed.
Life would look so different.
In a better way?
Different. Not better, not worse. Different. It was all I knew. Football was all I knew. That's what I thought I wanted to be. So I applied to be the assistant coach when I came back.
I must say, James, I really enjoy your insights to the game.
Thank you.
I told a few people I was coming on this podcast, and they all said the same thing. He speaks a lot of sense, doesn't he? I like listening to him. He's really good.
Not just a pretty face.
Yeah. So I think,
mate, we're not finished.
No, I'm just. I'm going to
sorry.
continue. I think I'm glad you went down this path.
Thank you. Yeah. That's the sliding doors moment. I think about is like, I'll catch myself. Like, fucking hell, yeah.
You seen the movie?
Sliding Doors, yes. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Is it? I remember the movie. But
yeah. The most interesting person you've met?
Wow, I've met some really interesting people. That is a tough question. I don't know. Because I'm trying to think about people who are quirky. That's interesting to me. People have got weird things that they do. Stevie was quirky. I'm drawn to people like that.
Yeah.
I love people like that.
They're fascinating, aren't they?
Yeah. And I've got a lot of time as well for those kind of people because they're genuine.
It's different.
They care.
Yeah.
obviously when I first found out I was going to meet Russell, that was pretty exciting.
Were you nervous when you met him?
Yeah. Like you got to, like, we know him now, so
Yeah.
you look back and you think, "Fuck, why did we feel like that?" But before we met him, we watched quite a lot of his movies before that. So it was, you know, coming from West Yorkshire, growing up where we grew up, to think that we would ever be in the same room as someone like that is pretty crazy. And he's a super, super interesting guy. And he's been fantastic for us. I'd never like saying that though, saying Russell as the example, because it's kind of like the cliche thing to say. Everyone would expect you to say that.
But mate, it fucking is. Like when you think about where you come from.
Yeah, and you know, he's super, super successful guy. So I enjoy spending time with people like that. So I don't know. It's
can I be honest with you? I'm a little bit surprised you didn't say.
Go on.
Scott Moore.
Scott Moore, yeah. He was good on it. Do you know someone else too? Jamie Thackeray.
You know what? I bumped into him.
What?
In somewhere random in Queensland.
Recently?
A couple of years ago. I was there with my dad. I think it was in
that's hilarious.
Port Douglas.
Port Douglas.
Right, and I'm walking.
I love that.
And I
place.
went, that's fucking Jamie Thackeray, you know?
Did he look the same?
Yeah. And I was like looking a bit. And then he looked at me and he sort of nodded. I'm like, are you Jamie Thackeray? He was like, yeah. Oh, he's living over here.
Is he?
Yep.
It'd be funny to see him now.
Well, he was then. I don't know if he still is now, but yeah.
He used to be funny at training. Some of the stuff he used to say.
Have you ever seen his chip and chase try?
Yeah, he used to talk.
And chip and chase
all
all
the time.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, mate. I fucking would as well. It was amazing. It was fucking brilliant. It was one of the... It's the best front rowers try ever.
Yeah. It was incredible. Double chip chase.
Chip over the top, chip regather, chip over the top of the fullback regather.
Who thinks to do that? Like,
interesting people.
Yeah.
Boring people don't do it.
Actually, another quirky person who's I really enjoyed is Brian McDermott. He's very quirky. He's over here now.
Yeah, he's assistant coach at Newcastle, isn't he?
His name got tossed up for the South gig, didn't it? Someone threw his name into the ring.
Quirky, like ex-military style. Because he played... Right, it's Brian Mark. He's ex-military, right?
Yeah, he was...
But he played for Great Britain.
Yeah.
So how did that work?
Why can't you do that?
Because you're all in it, the forces. You can't just like go and train on a night, can you?
No, but he did the military stuff
before.
Before, yeah.
What, like 16?
Actually, I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Maybe he's bluffed. Maybe we bluffed him out.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I wouldn't say that to his face. He'd fucking kill you.
No, he was like not just. He was Marines too.
Yeah, I know. But he played for Great Britain.
Yeah, he's a very interesting guy. You should get him on here.
I might do. It's hard with Newcastle though.
Yeah, he might be in Sydney soon.
Ooh. All right, we'll leave it at that. Biffa, I've fucking really enjoyed this conversation, mate. It's been fun. It has been a lot of fun. Thank you for sharing some of those stories with us. I'm sure our listeners will love it as well as I did. So all the very best with Welsh Street as well, mate. I think it's very important what you're doing. Great to see somebody transition out of football so well like yourself, mate. It is like genuinely mean this. It's great to see.
Appreciate that. That's been a pleasure, mate. Good to see you as always.
Cheers, lad. We'll be seeing lots of more of each other.
Be seeing you.
But not on the running track.